My entrepreneurial spirit. I don't know, but it's so alive and well within me. It doesn't stop. I birthed 2 businesses in my head yesterday.
They say you can tell a lot about a person based on the shoes they wear. I love shoes, but what I love even more is the person wearing them. As we walk a mile, my guests and I will talk about the kicks we wear, but more importantly, what we do in them.
My name is J. Mallory McCree, and this is A Mile in These Shoes. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is J. Mallory McCree with Amnts, and I hope you guys are ready to step your game up. Your home interior game, that is. We are meeting with one of LA's most influential interior designers. She is a bona fide TV star on networks such as HGTV and Discovery Plus. She's an entrepreneur, she is a philanthropist, an influencer, but most importantly, she is a mother. I'm talking about no one other than the incomparable Breegan Jane. Y'all ready to meet her? Oh, there she is, Breegan! So good to see you. Oh my God.
All right.
Life is amazing.
Welcome.
Look at this entryway. Look at this.
Hey, you know, we got to make a statement when you're the interior designer on the block, right?
Right. Breegan, you ready to take a walk?
Let's do it.
Where are we? Please set it up for us.
I call this Venice Beach.
Okay.
Because we are governed by Venice Beach.
Okay.
But it's this cute little residential area, sort of just past a lot of the riffraff.
So you're an LA native, right?
I am an LA native, born and raised.
Oh my goodness.
Within the distance that we are to the beach right now about, yeah.
What? This is your area.
This is my area. I grew up in Hermosa Beach.
Okay.
And it's a very coastal, you know, we got our Spicolis on. We call these the Spicolis, right?
Yep.
He made them famous.
Home is such a big part of your brand. What was your home life like? You know, how did you grow up?
So I was adopted. It's a fun beginning story that not everybody has. 3 siblings, 2 parents, they're still married, and it was pretty warm.
Were you a creative child? Were you one of those who was rearranging furniture all the time and drawing on the walls?
Completely. And my mom did foster that. So she's very creative. She never wants any of the credit, but she is the reason that I am who I am, I think.
Wow.
My house was like salmon colored pink till I was like, you know, in middle school, and I remember like judging my mom when we repainted it. I was like, why is the house pink? She's like, because you picked the color when we were 5. And I was like, what? Like, you're gonna hand a 5-year-old a swatch book? And of course there was like a salmon pink, and I'm like, the pink one.
Yeah. So do you think that your family dynamic influenced your creative juices, your creativity?
Yeah, but as much as they fostered it, they also had to put up with it. So I took these like full page ads, full color picture, and created wallpaper in my whole room.
What?
And my whole room was wallpapered with full page ads. Like, remember like Hard Candy used to have that big tongue ad, and like you could find like there were all these like fun beach photos, and yeah.
When was the moment that you knew I have a serious talent with designing and you know, architecture, or just this is something that I want to do with my life? When did you know that?
I think being a designer, you really don't know what you can do until you're given the space to do it. You can do like your little side table, or you can do a thing, but until you have a space that's like the whole room, and you do the floors to the walls to the furniture, that was the moment when I was like, oh, I'm good at this, and this is so easy for me.
Yeah. And how did you cultivate that talent?
It was cultivating in the background the whole time. My first real professional job, I would say, was when I took on owning my own clothing store at 18 from the money I'd earned modeling.
Oh my gosh. What was that? What was it?
It was just a boutique. It was called Breegan, of course. We sold like the latest, you know, jean lines you competed for at that point. You know, we had like Betsy Johnson. We carried, all the girls came in, got their prom dresses.
Not only were you creative and into the arts, but you've always had an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
And where does that come from?
I had a dad who was very entrepreneurial.
Okay.
He's had a very successful career, but I would say he didn't come from the opportunities necessarily to be put in that position. It's all been self-made.
Got it.
Whereas I've had parents who are successful, like my dad's level of success came from his own business acumen. His first investment was owning the house that he lived at in college and paid his friends paid him rent. But he was building ownership.
Right.
He owned the house, he paid the mortgage, he was responsible to it, but they got a big house and all of his friends paid rent, and he might have put an extra 100 in his pocket every month, or maybe lost 100, but he was buying property, college age.
I'm curious to know what your feelings are, given that that's part of the privilege of the system, right?
For sure.
You know, like
I was uniquely put as a biracial child into the privilege of Caucasian success, American success.
Yeah.
In some ways, you know what I mean? I think those are just facts.
We are about to take a tour
Oh, are we?
of one of the most premier LA interior designers' houses. I feel like we want to see that, right?
It's my actual house. Yes, I do live here though. It's not a stage set.
Hi, I'm Breegan Jane. Welcome to my world.
Welcome. By the way, you know the one thing nobody will let me do?
What's that?
Come over to their house.
When you enter a house, do you immediately see things that you want to change? Like
this house I took down to the studs. The door was in a different place, but when I first walk into anything that needs a remodel or construction site or even a done space, my brain just like lays this CAD file over it. And I'm like, yep, nope, that there, that moves there. It's just in there.
It's just there. What are 3 core things you always seek to implement in your homes?
You need moments to give your guests activities. So we DJ in this house. I have vinyl.
Okay.
But one of the things I realized is like people want to live in their spaces. You have to tell people where they can go in your space and what they can touch, or it becomes a stale museum. Another thing I do is I hide photos. So anytime somebody opens a book, a memory falls out. And then you have a conversation about that memory.
Yes. What's another thing, a core thing that one should have in their house?
A mix of high-low. I think that's really important.
Yes.
And I think it's important no matter what budget you're on. So high-low, if you want to talk high-low for a second, this is the existing hood that was in this house. It's like one of the only things I didn't replace, and then I just put this over it, which is custom.
How did you do this? Because I'm trying to do this exact same thing in my house.
You go to downtown LA, you find somebody who works in stainless steel, you give them the measurements for the box you need, and just have the box made. We screwed it in the bottom.
Oh my
and just put it over the top. Again, people don't want me over to their house, but it's like, this is an outdoor table and outdoor chairs.
You do, so that is acceptable. That's a great question. Breaking the rules. There are the rules.
All the rules are broken.
And can you break them?
And do I even love these? No, but do kids' food come off of this so easily?
Easy.
Like so easily. This is easy cleanup for a 6 and an 8-year-old. There's no fabric, there's no like wooden table, it all wipes down.
You have just created an impact and really have been changing people's lives, most famously and most recently on Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Can you talk about that and if it was your intent to set out to change lives doing this?
I didn't know the two could merge. I am intent on doing as much work as I can to change other people's lives.
Yeah.
But I always saw that as the result of hard work.
Right.
So the two merging it all makes sense though, right?
It does.
Because even the clients that pay me, it's like, let me help you.
Let me help you.
Let me help you, I got this.
What has been one of your most rewarding experiences throughout it all?
One of the homes in particular on Extreme Makeover where there were 6 siblings and their parents were murdered and they were African refugees who were given land by the not only city but I think state. You know what I mean? For and giving them spaces and all of it, that Those are the good days.
I've got to tell you about the shoes I've got on.
Okay,
'cause
tell me.
This, I have to say, this was probably the hardest episode to figure out what shoes to wear, because
The person with
because
the worst shoes?
look, no. Well, because I was like, she's an interior designer and design is everything. And I want to find a shoe that has like, it's a statement, it's architecture. And, you know, doing my research on your aesthetic, you are very approachable, but like classic with luxury at the same time. And that is what this brand is. This is an Italian.
These are amazing shoes.
Thank you, thank you. It's an Italian, a young Italian luxury brand called Ida Milano.
Okay.
And their whole philosophy is taking classic styles and silhouettes and giving them bold flair and bold twists.
I love that it's not a classic black. I appreciate shoes. I do spaces. People do shoes, I do spaces. And then I use these things to just help me do spaces.
Do spaces, yeah.
Just run. And I'm barefoot all the time.
What's even more amazing than one dope house? Two dope houses. A dream house. If this wasn't the dream, Breegan is actually gonna let us in and give us a sneak peek of her dream house that she is having built right now as we speak, right down the road. So if you're wondering why we got our boots and why we changing shoes, it's because we're gonna go walk that road and enter a construction site. Y'all ready? I'm taking off the Ida Milanos and I'm putting on a classic pair of Red Wings. And what do you have?
I got the fancy docks for you.
Gold fancy docks.
Gold fancy docks. Front door location's changing. We got a living room, kitchen, dining room, out to a deck. We got a bedroom. I love my architect. He basically comes here with me and writes down what I tell him in a walkthrough in my mind. This is a bathroom. You'll laugh at this. So see how unusually long this is?
Yes.
So construction gives me these problems all the time, right? Where it's like, I want a shower in here, I want a toilet in here, I want a sink in here, but I got all this extra space. But I don't want more closet space. I want a substantial bathroom. So, since this is the main guest bathroom, this is the main guest bathroom for this whole floor, I'm putting a fountain in it. Here's why though. A cute little wall Moroccan fountain with like a cute little hearth that like trickles. By putting a water fountain in a bathroom, I'm gonna eliminate any of the audio.
You know, because
it eliminates the fear.
What guys do, and I remember watching my dad do this, he just go into and turn on the faucet and let the faucet.
I do the same
thing. You know,
thing.
and you just like let it go, and however
Which
long
is not
I'm in
good
there,
for our oceans.
It's not.
First hotel stay with your new boyfriend, that faucet is your best friend.
Yes.
It is your best friend. Yes. So my guest room is gonna have a fountain.
You really do think of everything.
Not everything, but I think about the way we live.
Yes.
Still trying, so like this is a problem and a solution that you were saying, like, do I ever get told no?
Yeah.
So I want to put a washer dryer here, but I have to start looking at European options.
Okay.
Because we don't have washer dryers that are this low in depth. But when you think about European appliances, a lot of times they're in the kitchen cabinetry. So it's cabinet depth. Will you help me keep my kids safe? We got to put this up. To make sure nobody falls through. So I'm actually gonna do it this way.
It's a big responsibility
This
here.
is a big responsibility. You ever used a drill?
Yes, once or twice.
Once or
Okay.
twice? You're just going in. We call this field scaffolding.
Field scaffolding.
Did we have it on the reverse?
Oh wait, that looked
I might
reversed
have it
to
on-
me.
Right?
It wasn't my fault, guys.
There we go.
Okay, here we go,
I didn't set you up for success.
1, 2, 3.
Put it in there.
Yeah! Tell our viewers why philanthropy is important to you and what work you're doing.
When I learned about FGM in Kenya, it's the complete underestimation of women that we see everywhere. I mean, for your viewers who don't know, it's a physical cut to female, down there parts. It's not religious, it's purely cultural. So, and it signifies a daughter's ability to be ready for marriage. And then she gets treated literally for cattle. But the entire history of the whole thing basically goes to the roots of underestimating women. That's all you're doing. The boys don't have to do it. Nobody has to do it. You're underestimating women. And so when we go into these communities and we say, hey, just don't do that, it's like you sprung a well in the abundance of the city, because you educate the girls. They now know how to feed your cows better because they're in school. And so you're making more money because they're producing more milk. And the girls are learning how to like the entire community literally thrives. And then the neighboring communities start begging for it.
You know, you are a true inspiration to myself, to all of the women out there that you are supporting, your clients, and then the people on the shows. And I mean, to walk a mile in your shoes, I couldn't even imagine.
Their utility.
Their utility.
They're getting me where I want to go, doing the things I need to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh.
Can I have a hug?
Yes, absolutely. First pair of shoes you remember?
Doc Martens.
Do you toss or keep your shoe boxes?
Toss.
Favorite pair of shoes?
Vans.
Who is your style icon?
Rene Russo in the Thomas Crown Affair. That character.
Choose one word to describe yourself.
Unique.
What's one of your proudest moments?
The birth of my kids.
What motivates you?
Helping others.
What continues to be your favorite thing about designing?
Endless creation.
What's it like to walk a mile in your shoes?
They're heavy. They're heavy, but they're fun.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I want to thank you so much for tuning into AMNTS, A Mile in These Shoes. If you guys are digging the conversations that we're having in the shoes that we are profiling, do me a favor, hit that like button. Or if you really like what we're doing, do me another favor, hit that subscribe button and comment. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear how you liking the show, how you digging it, who you might even want to come on the show and be a guest. Yo, we love you, and I got one more question for you. What's it like to walk a mile in your shoes?